Good evening and welcome on the campus of Archer High School in Lawrenceville, Georgia. It's time for Georgia High School playoff basketball right here on the SUV TV. It's our third round quarterfinal matchup as the Grayson Rams take on the Walton Raiders. Hello again and welcome. I'm John Morgo alongside Dr. Russ Triega. We'll be giving you the call on this one in about 5 minutes right now as tip-off is looming. Grayson, the third-ranked team in the state coming in. They've had a cakewalk through the first round, 2 rounds. They're the only ranked team in their section of the bracket. No problem with Marietta. Dispatched the Blue Devils easily in the first round and then took out Valdosta by 23. Now, on contrast, the Walton Raiders, well, they are the 4 seed from Region 5. So they've had a very tough road to hoe to get into this. First of all, going on the road to beat Lambert by 14 in the first round. Then the second round, going to Peachtree Ridge, beat Peachtree Ridge, the Lions by 8, 64-56, a career game for Luke Flynn. He had 33 points in that upset. J.P. Wells had 13. And going back to Grayson, the only adversity that the Rams have suffered in this postseason has been the fact that they've had to go on the road through no fault of their own. A water leak in their building ruined their court, so they cannot play at home in Grayson. They've had to go on the road in their first 2 matchups as well, playing, well, really on neutral courts, but again, they've had no problems with that. And again, it's been different players in each ball game. Chad Moody had 19 against Marietta, but in the game against Valdosta, CJ Highland was the hot hand, 25 points in that particular victory. So Dr. Russ, looking in this one, Walton, again, the Cinderella team, do they have one more dance in them, or is this the night that the clock strikes 12?
Unfortunately, it would take an effort beyond anything they've done to this point to have an opportunity to win this game, but it is 0-0 when we start the game, so we're just going to have to wait and see. I kind of think back, John, myself, to about a year ago at this time. Grayson was in the same game last year with a much different opponent at Berkmar. The game was at home. I understand this is a home game for Grayson, even though it's not in their gym. And I think that resonates with this team. They are a young team. They just have 1 senior on it, but there was plenty of players here that were involved in that game last year where they started slow, they got behind, and then they were fighting uphill for the whole second half and could never get to the point where even they got it to a 1-possession game. So I'm going to look at Jinkari Harris tonight, and I think this is the time last year where he really came to the forefront and let the state of Georgia know what he's all about. And I'm expecting a big game from him. As far as the actual way the game's going to be played, I would really look for Grayson to get out and defend right from the beginning and try and get off to a fast start. And anytime the ball goes below the foul line, it's going to be a huge advantage to Grayson, whether it's on the offensive end or on the defensive end. But we'll have to wait and see. We're about a minute and a half away.
Well, let's take a quick look at our keys to the ball game. And here they are. They are presented to you by the Junior Hawk Summer Camps. Now, the basically thing is, can the Walton be Raiders? That means, can they get the early steals? Can they force turnovers in transition? Can they get Grayson off their game? Now, you're talking a little bit about this earlier, battling with the Rams inside. That means going up against Chad Moody, going up against Jinkari Harris. They did excellent against Marietta while they went more with a guard play. And that brings us into our third point against Valdosta. It was more guard-oriented. Anthony Alston, C.J. Highland. Definitely Grayson does seem to have the advantage at just about every position here. But again, if the Walton Raiders can somehow knock Grayson off their stride through the early going, that might be enough for them to at least keep this game close and maybe sneak it out at the end.
Yeah, so Walton has a little bit of a dilemma. Do they go for it right from the beginning and try and jump on Grayson? Of course, the other side of that meter stick is if they go for it and Grayson's ready to play, they can find themselves in an early deficit that will be hard to climb out of. So in my sense, I would expect Walton to try and play the first half to get to the second half, have some meaningful possessions in the second half, and give themselves an opportunity to take the game at least late into the third quarter and putting a little pressure on Grayson as the huge favorite here.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the crowd looks like. It's more Walton blue and some red here at Archer. Walton is in their red warm-up jerseys, trying to blend in, maybe get the home court advantage. We'll see how much the fans of Grayson here on this Wednesday night travel to this particular meeting. Again, this will be a berth in the Final Four. The winner of this one plays the winner of the number 1, number 2 matchup, McEachern and Wheeler. That's going on right now, and we'll, of course, keep you up to date on any scores here on the quarterfinal days leading up to the semifinal weekend, and then the final weekend next week in this Macon Centerplex. We are about ready to get going. We're about ready to have our starting lineup, so let's turn it over to our public address announcer for the national anthem as well.
Breda Pest Management proudly supports Georgia High School basketball. The Bredas believe in giving back to the communities they serve, and since 1975, Breda has protected homes from bugs and critters. See more at Breda, BREDA, pest.com.
Never getting lost? Does it get better than not parallel parking yourself?
Alexa, ask Smart Feed to feed the dog.
Does it get better than feeding your dog from 50 miles away? Yes, it does. At Buick, we see a future that's even better. Because the life-enhancing innovations you've never even dreamed of, Buick is dreaming of them every day.
When you work in IT, complaints are part of the job.
Bill says the coffee's weak today.
But since CDW helped us switch to Mac, everyone's happier. Dan from Finance likes getting performance without a big price tag. Phoebe digs the power of the Apple M1 chip. Mac is easy to manage, compatible with all our apps, and came pre-configured by CDW. Now we're even getting compliments.
That was Bill again, says he loves his new Mac. He's right about the coffee.
Here on the SUV TV, the Grayson Rams against the Walton Raiders. Again, played at a neutral court here in Lawrenceville, Georgia, because of the accident that occurred at Grayson. It's a brand new floor, first year of it, and it gets ruined by a water leak. So they'll have some work to do in the off season to get that all fixed up, and we'll see if Grayson can celebrate with a state title. Again, they are ranked 3rd heading in, behind number 1 and 2, McEachern and Wheeler. Wheeler 1, of course, McEachern 2. And just by the luck of the draw, they would meet in a potential semifinal matchup this weekend and not in the finals. Again, you look at the other side of the bracket, you got Norcross and Newton, 4 and 5. They're going at it in a little bit. And finally, Cherokee and Carrollton. That's going on in Carrollton right now, 7 and 8. Cherokee and Carrollton in that one. Interesting that the rankings are all kind of bunched together, but you look at Grayson's side, they are the only ranked team in their little quadrant of the bracket. So they thought, so the pundits thought the Rams would have an easy look into the Final Four. And right now the only stumbling block is the Walton Raiders. Again, Walton the 4 seed, so they had to go on the road to 2 tough places to play, Lambert and Peachtree Ridge. Now here they are with a 3rd visit to Gwinnett County and Grayson here at the home of the Archer Tigers. I'm John Morgo with Dr. Russ Triega. Thank you so much for joining us. Strap yourself in. We should have a good one. And Walton is wearing a broadcaster's nightmare. Dark jerseys with even darker numbers. Grayson in white with the green numbers. It's Grayson ball, and we are underway.
So we'll see right away, Walton starts out man-to-man, John. Get a quick whistle. Yeah, clock didn't start, or shot clock.
Yeah, this is the first year of the shot clock in just about all high school gyms, so they've been, it's a little bit, it's it's been kind of a experiment. They're trying to get this thing to work consistently, and that's really been the issue, more consistency.
Well, you were very kind and generous with that statement. I think it might have been a little bit more than, well, we'll just leave it at consistency. But with Walton starting out man-to-man, let's see right away, John, if Walton uses their high ball screen and try and get the ball down below. And
that's exactly what they do. One-hand pass to number 23, Moody. He gets it up, bounces off the iron, can't get it, and look at that height advantage as Taylor wrestles it away, but can't get a shot to go. It will go back to Walton for their first possession here in this Elite 8 matchup.
So Walton's going to give you a lot of high ball screens, some dribble handoff. They want to get down and then kick the ball out and get open threes.
And Chad Moody sends it out of bounds. Again, it's going to be very difficult to pick up those numbers. That's Luke Flynn right there, number 2. He had the 33 points against Peachtree Ridge in that 64-56 matchup.
John, these things look like practice jerseys.
They do. That's my first thought. I mean, especially with those blue numbers on, look like they were blue duct tape put on the back of those jerseys.
Oh, my goodness.
I believe this is Flynn now. He's got an open look, but no, he's going to throw it out to see if he can get an open 3. Passing it up into the paint, back to Flynn, right side. It's going to bounce off the left iron. Try again, this time from outside, again off the heel. And it's going to be Harris with the rebound. Again, I called it a broadcaster's nightmare. Highland rims out. Still looking for our first points with 6:52 remaining here in our first quarter of action.
Yeah, interesting start. Walton getting what they want, some open looks that they weren't able to knock down, and Grayson immediately going to take everything down below the three-point line and make Walton guard him down there before anything else.
So here's Walton Raiders, 6:32, shot clock down to 14. Fall away jumper from the elbow, bounces off. And there's Taylor, gives it to Harris. Harris again, he's been leading the offense a little bit, but now he's going to let Highland take care of it. Alston will let one fly. There we go. There's the first 3 points of the ball game, courtesy of Anthony Alston.
And you can see right away, John, there, Walton is just committing everything to the backside. If Grayson's able to get off the dribble, they're going to be able to throw the ball on the other side and get down the baseline rather easily. So this is a tough matchup for Walton.
Driving in, picking up the dribble. Flynn spins around, goes across the paint, tries to fall away, and it's off the iron. And Walton will keep it with 5:41 remaining in the first quarter. That's Caesar Burrows, number 3.
Yeah, you can see Grayson taking their defensive ability all the way out to half court. They want this ball to travel through the air with very little dribbles for Walton. That really gives them the best chance to lock them down on one side of the floor.
Shot clock down to 2. Flynn throws it up, but it will be a shot clock violation. And that's exactly what Grayson wanted to do, an unforced turnover, a shot clock violation. And the Rams have the basketball. 5:15 left in our first quarter. Rams up by a field goal, 3-0. Harris wants to do that screen inside to Moody. Moody, left side, won't fall. Rebound for Walton. Let's see if they can get something going in transition. Burrows will back it out. Flynn takes it, and it's off that front edge. Now back to Grayson. Harris looking. No, he'll give it to Alston. Alston hit from the left side, can't hit from the right. And it goes back to the Walton Raiders with 4:39 left here in the opening quarter.
I think actually Grayson's being a little quick on the offensive end. They need to probe that defense a little bit and at least get a touchdown on the block.
Nice ball movement in the perimeter for the Raiders. Let's see, Flynn, he should have just kept it going. And it's an easy rejection. Now the other way, Alston lays it in. And it's Grayson, 5. Walton 0 also with all 5 points for the Rams.
Yeah, nice transition. Harris got down the floor, got it spread out, made a nice delivery for an easy layup.
So Walton yet to dent the scoreboard. Burrows swings it around to Harry Tier, I believe that is. Burrows got his man to fall, but lost the ball. Kind of took out that move, and a nice lay-in for Amir Taylor. and Walton needs to call a timeout.
Yeah, so right away you see turnovers are turning into transition, easy buckets at the other end. We're halfway through the first quarter. Walton hadn't been able to scratch yet. I think they might want to look, John, here to instead of spread this thing top to bottom, spread it side to side, and then it's going to take an extra pass to switch sides with the ball, but I think that's their best chance to get an open look. But trying to attack straight line down, just straight off the dribble right at the rim is going to be tough for them because Grayson really doesn't have to help. They're so much bigger at every size.
They sure are. They definitely have that height advantage, as you were talking about, Dr. Rust, especially down low. And again, Coach Abney, Bo Abney, calls the timeout just to try and get his team together, not rattled as much.
So we'll see if he has, Coach Abney has a special coming out of this timeout. They need a good look. They need something to get a little confidence. See Grayson coming up, picking him up full court. This is kind of what I expected him. Burn up a little of that shot clock and get him out of the middle of the floor. Grayson gets him out of the middle of the floor. It's tough for Walton.
Well, they'll get the inbound pass in. We're back to live action. 7-0 with 3:33 left in our first quarter here from Archer High School here in Lawrenceville. Riding with the Elite Eight on the SUV TV. Had a good game last night. This one should be as advertised. As Flynn, they want it in Flynn's hands. Now into the near corner. Burrows, shot clock down to 5. Burrows goes inside, high off the glass, can't get it. Tip way out for Highland. Now Highland will one-hand it, try to get a charge. And he got that block, and he got that charge delivered.
Yeah, so once again, deflected shot, tipped rebound, and away they go. CJ Highland does a good job in transition. He's got that defender backing up. You want to get right to the rim there. You're not going to get a charge there and get his free throws.
So Kamani Paxton picks up the personal foul. Highland makes his first. Makes it 8-0.
And this is exactly what Walton wanted to avoid, John. This early deficit and, just kind of wondering what can we do offensively to get a good look. You might want to use Flynn as the screener here and then let him pop after that. He hasn't been able to take anybody off the dribble yet, as we say.
Now Burrows into a triple team. Comes around, no room, so he's got to go back to Flynn. 9-0 favor of the Rams. Flynn off that screen. They try to do it with Highland. Now 7 seconds. And 5-second call, I believe.
Yeah, so you can see Grayson. You can see the Grayson bench as soon as they see the screen, hollering it out to get closer to the ball handler. Screen can't happen, results in a 5 count.
Harris. Now Olsen with 5 points. See what Taylor, he's got 2. Now Highland had it rim out. Trying to bury that dagger. Instead, Burrows will take it from the wing, and that won't fall either. So Walton still on the schneid as we're about 6 minutes into this one.
And they did get a good look that time down, but unfortunately it didn't fall, and they're just hanging on right here.
Nice bump to get some separation for Taylor. He's got 4. And now it's double figures, 11-0. About 1:46:05 left here in the first quarter. Grayson making themselves right at home here at Archer, probably their big rival here in Gwinnett County.
Yeah, rival's got to beat you once in a while for it to be a rival.
Burrows off the heel won't go. Now Grayson is definitely the power in this particular neck of the woods. As Alston tried to force things on that pass, a little too far in front of Highland. As we get a look at that high-low pass inside. Nice move on that for Taylor to get the separation that he needed to put it in the basket on that left-hand side.
It's not very often you have the chance to shut somebody out in a quarter in an Elite 8 game, but Grayson's about 2 possessions away from doing that.
Flynn. Boy, it just seems like a huge mismatch when they put Taylor on him. Now trying to go into the corner, and it got tipped out.
Yeah, and once again, now the first time they were able to throw it across and skip it across the court. They got to catch and shoot that. They let the closeout come. There's just not much penetration.
All right, Burrows is going to exit as we have a sub for the Raiders. And I believe that's number 10, Nathan Watson. Grayson with the balls. Highland has it. 2 points for Highland, both from the line. Oh, can't leave anybody open underneath. And there's a foul as Moody tried to hit. Taylor got the rebound.
Yeah, and it looked like there, John, that Walton had switched to a bit of a junk defense. Looked like we had almost a little diamond and one with the bottom in a full front on the low post. Again, Walton just trying to probe and find something they can have some success with.
That was Harrison Morris with the personal. Second foul against the Raiders here in the quarter as Taylor misses his first. Trying to make it an even dozen to start things out. There it is. Taylor with 5, Alston with 5. As we have 50 seconds to go. And Walton trying not to get skunked here in the first quarter. Nice, they tried to go off that screen for Highland, but Taylor rotated and got back and got right into it.
Again, if you look, you can see how far off Grayson is, those guys on the end line. They're just not threatened by him, and it makes help come early, and it's just a huge dilemma for Walton.
From the elbow, no for Flynn. Rebound loose underneath. Moody's going to come up with it. As time winds down here in our first quarter, looks like Walton is going to get a big fat goose egg after 8 minutes. And nice drive for Jakari Harris, his first 2 points. And Grayson in control in this one, 14-0 over the Walton Raiders. As we take a look at some of the highlights. All Grayson in that first quarter. Again, this broadcast is also sponsored by Breda Pest Management. They've been protecting Georgia homes for nearly 50 years. In an area the size of this court, there could be several thousand termites. What's protecting your home from those termites? Don't let them ruin your largest investment. See why so many homes are protected by Breda at BredaPest.com. That's BREDA Pest.com. Breda Pest Management is a proud supporter of Georgia High School athletics. John Morgo and Dr. Russell Triega here at Archer High School for this Elite Eight matchup. 14-0. All Grayson.
Well, John, if you told Walton Grayson would have 14 points at the end of the first quarter, I think they would take that.
Yeah.
You're on a pace for about, less than 60, but I didn't think that they would have 0. I've been very impressed with Grayson being disciplined on the defensive end. Not grabbing, not holding, not pushing, just straight up guarding people. And I know that's exactly what Coach Pierce wanted.
Yeah, no fouls called against the Rams in that first quarter. 2 were assessed against Walton. Anyways, we start the second quarter. Walton gets the ball in the alternator. And we'll see how long the Rams can keep the 0 streak going.
Again, when you're watching Walton, you're seeing the majority of the passes going away from the basket.
Yeah, around the perimeter, but they just can't get an open look. Shot clock down to 6 again. Flynn's got it. He's begging somebody to come up and set a screen for him. Now Flynn is blocked. And back to Grayson. Ali no oop. Come back. There you go.
Stepped out of bounds.
And Moody with the mistake. Moody with a very uncharacteristic mistake. Here's the oop right there. That right foot came back and stepped out of bounds.
We almost had our first Harbor Wealth dunk of the night, John.
Now Walton, they go to sleep a little bit, but Harrison Morse, a little too strong coming off the glass. When you get that open look, you got to take it, you got to make it. Coming across, in and out for Caden Allen. Back to the Raiders, 6:46 to go here in the half. Morris, he'll drive in, weave it around. Norris with the Bill Lambier face mask. Tipped away by Corey Gatlin. It will stay with Walton.
One thing, John, when you see when Walton gets in transition, they have got to get ahead of the ball. The ball is there. There's 3 guys running behind it. They're not going to be able to make anything happen. Their effort needs to pick up, to be quite honest with you.
And they'll inbound it with 20 on the shot clock. Coming through to the near side, Flynn with a stop, with a pop and a drop. And Walton finally gets on the scoreboard with 6:23 remaining until halftime, 14-3. And they're going to get the ball right back. Another turnover for the Rams. Let's take a look at this as Flynn just all alone in the coffin corner on the near side.
Good dribble penetration, open look. I mean, they're going to have to hit a high number of those, especially with the score as it is now.
14-3. Actually, I believe that might have been J.P. Wells who took that shot and made it, number 5.
With those uniforms, John, you get a pass.
Thank you.
On any
I
numbers
appreciate
for the rest of the night.
I appreciate that. I'm going to need it. Wells had 13 in that win over Peachtree Ridge. He's going to try it again and rimmed out right into the first row of cheerleaders.
I've never seen anything like that. Like, we're looking at it on the TV monitor. We can barely tell.
Yeah, we can barely tell it. Again, it's a broadcaster's nightmare.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not a broadcaster.
Yeah, here's Caden Allen to the near side and Alston. They go high-low in. Now around pro, they want to do an extra pass. Man wasn't quite there for Allen. Now Allen will back it out with 10 seconds left on the shot. I think Coach Pierce has given his starters a little bit of a break. Allen's soft shot can't go. And here's Walton. Now looks like that break is over. Harris going to the scorer's table. Nice steal by Laz Mason. Here comes Laz, and he lays it in.
Yeah, again, deflection, starts transition, easy bucket. Grayson about to come back with their starters, feeling like they're starting to wear on him a little bit. I expect maybe a little run coming up here.
16-3, as Caesar Burrows couldn't get it, but Morris gets the rebound. He fails, and we go back to Grayson.
Floor starting to open up in transition.
Alston,
Grayson get to the middle.
Alston from the line can't hit. And we're going to have a sub for Walton in a moment as Flynn brings it across. Flynn sees room, and he's going to get contact as he drove in and go to the line. First foul in the ball game against Grayson. It's going to go against Gatlin.
Yeah, to play almost 11 and a half minutes without a foul. I don't think Grayson's defense could have asked for anything more than that. First time Walton goes to the free throw line, we're mid-second quarter.
And it'll be Luke Flynn. Far cry from the 33 he had a few days ago. And he makes his first. Again, as you see on our graphic, Grayson 23-6 overall in the regular season. They were 9-1 in their region. They were a perfect, undefeated mark at home.
23-6 playing a high-level schedule.
Yeah.
Just not playing teams from Georgia around here.
Second one's good. And then you got the Raiders mark. They're 19-11. And they went 5-5 in their region. And Grayson immediately attacks on the other end. That's Amir Taylor with 7.
Yeah, really nice sideline break there. You can see Grayson is now starting to get comfortable offensively. That's why I said I look for him to string together some points here.
As we get close to the halfway juncture in the second quarter, 13-point lead for the Rams, 18-5. Again, in the backcourt now, there's room, and not enough English. Wells from 3, short. We will go back to Grayson with 3:47 left. Gatlin wanted to go inside, trying to immediately go to Taylor. Taylor can't hang on to it, but he'll stay with the Grayson Rams.
I'll tell you, John, something I'm really impressed with. Even though Grayson's blocking a lot of shots and they have this huge size advantage, I'm just watching them discipline-wise down on the other end, blocking people out, sealing off the end line. You know, if they advance, you know, they're looking at Wheeler and McEachern, and they're going to need that.
Nice rifle pass. Highland just able to keep it in bounds. Now Highland fires to the near side. Harris too strong. But right there is Taylor. Taylor tries to go up. He'll get contact, and I believe that's going to be on Morris. And that'll be his second.
Yeah, again, Amir Taylor just being able to rebound from wherever he is. He just is at a whole nother level height-wise than anything Walton can present.
Actually, they flagged Caesar Burrows, number 3, for that one. So here's Taylor. He misses the front end. Went 1 for 2 in the first quarter. Same situation where he missed the front end. Let's see what he does with the second end.
So Grayson's going to go big here, John. This is as big as they can get right here with what they're going to put on the court. So it'll be really interesting to see if they just last 3 minutes here this quarter just hammer the ball down in the block.
Taylor's second shot is good. So again, he's 1 out of 2. Missed the first one, made the second. He's got 8 on the night, and it's 19-5 with 3:20 to go. That's Flynn. Burrows thinks about it. Now a nice little dribble between his legs. Nothing there. Taylor just is not giving him an avenue. Shot clock down to 6. It always seems to find Flynn's hands at 6. We're letting him create, so we'll take it from the elbow. It does hit the iron, so it resets. And the rebound effort for Flynn doesn't go either. Alston will get some contact.
Alston's done a really nice job just putting his head down and attacking the defender, realizing he's got the defender retreating. It's a second or third foul he's attacked just by going off the dribble.
That's on Wells, his first. Give and go to Highland. He's looking for the open man, finds it, and Gachari Harris buries an outside jumper.
Just really nice execution time and time again. Walton has to have a basket on this trip right here.
22-5, 3-ball for Harris. He has 5 points. Wells finds Meadows. Meadows from way outside. Again, short. Now the ball's loose. Flynn comes up with it into the corner for Wells, and he's short again. And another rebound. 2 offensive rebounds for the Raiders, but they can't convert as we get under 2 minutes. Caesar Burrows, guarded by Alston. Now it's at 10. Wells. They just need to take those jumpers when they see them.
Yeah, I agree completely. That's what we were saying early on is, you're in that dilemma. You're going to shoot it, you're going to hold it. You got to shoot it eventually. That's what the shot clock does to you.
Paxton couldn't hit. Alley-oop pass will go to Paxton. And Taylor tips it out of bounds to prevent the fast break.
But again, Grayson just giving no quarter here. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. This reminds me of watching the South Carolina women play man-to-man defense.
Okay.
Just positionally almost perfect. Very little opportunity to beat them off the dribble.
Now Walton. Burrows can't get free, so a pass out to Wells. Shot clock at 15. Wells. He needs to go up immediately. They're waiting for that. I don't know what they're waiting for, an extra move or something. Flynn, shot clock at 5 again. Flynn, Morris, he slams it in.
Well, they finally got some help, drew him up early, drop it down. Need to get a stop and another bucket here.
Is that a Harbor Wealth dunk?
That was a Harbor Wealth dunk. Thanks for bringing that up,
for
John.
Harrison Morris.
I almost forgot that.
40 seconds to go. Taylor tries to get around triple team, loses it. Wells comes up with it, finds Flynn. Flynn, he's got Paxton coming to the other end. Oh, the soft layup can't go. Really needed those bunnies.
They got transition. They got somebody ahead of the ball, behind the defense. It's got to put that in.
Juben Aguilo couldn't hit, and we're under 30 seconds remaining.
To his credit, good job running in transition. He just got to finish.
Yep, just tried to do it. Did everything right, soft shot, used the window, but a little too hard coming off the glass. And it looks like Harris is going to go for the final shot as we get to 10 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, so here Grayson's going to call for a double and force a big to switch out on Harris, and he finds an open shooter.
CJ Highland, there's your dagger. And we're at the half. It's 25-7, favor of the Grayson Rams over the Walton Raiders. All right, we're going to take a quick break for halftime as we get another look at that CJ Highland 3-ball to end the scoring here in the half. We'll be back for the third quarter of action right here on the SUV TV.
Breda Pest Management proudly supports Georgia high school basketball. The Bredas believe in giving back to the communities they serve, and since 1975, Breda has protected homes from bugs and critters. See more at Breda, BREDA, pest.com.
It was always a tradition in the family to play saxophone. My mom was a saxophone player.
I started playing in the 7th grade. It makes me happy to know that he's following my footsteps. I'm really honored.
My mom was taking me on a college tour at Shaw University, and she's like, oh, look, DJ, that's the McDonald's I used to go to. This McDonald's is so important because it ended up being a place where our band members would go to get to know each other outside of the band room.
Oh, you.
It's definitely like our student union.
But with fries.
For our crew to go to that same McDonald's she went to, such a big deal for me. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Two clap for the youth. You.
Welcome back to the SUV TV Elite 8 coverage of the Georgia High School basketball tournament. I'm John Morgo, along with Dr. Russell Triega. 25-7, Grayson in control in this one over the Walton Raiders. Walton scores all 7 of their points in the second quarter as they score J.P. Wells with 3, Luke Flynn with 2, and Harrison Morris with 2. In fact, there is Harrison Morris with his 2 points on the ball game. It was actually the last 2 that Walton scored. Here's the first 3 that Walton scored, the 3 ball from J.P. Wells. Now looking over at what Grayson has done. Grayson incredibly even scoring. C.J. Highland, Jakari Harris, who you see there with the layup, Anthony Alston, who you will see here on the top end of the give and go to Amir Taylor. He's got 5, but Taylor does lead all scorers with 8. Taylor outscoring Walton by himself. And there's a lay-in for Laz Mason. That's his only 2 points on the festivities. As we begin the second half, Coach, seems like Walton, well, again, we knew that. I think Walton's happy that Grayson hasn't been able to really run away with this point-wise. They just cannot get their offense going.
They got to stand up and fight, John. They got to have some pride and some wherewithal about them to stand up and mix it up a little bit. They're just standing there taking it as Harris goes right to the rim and lays it in uncontested.
And a layup for Jakari Harris. He's got 7 points, 27-7. Lead balloons to a score. Follow away jumper for Burrows. Answers. That's Caesar Burrows' first 2 points. Makes it 27-9. I guess Walton's offense, little late getting here. I think Walton's offense went to Grayson instead of Archer. Just trying, boy, talk about going hard is Moody, but he went a little too hard. I think Moody wanted a point to prove. 3 ball, rimmed out. They needed that one. Now in transition, Highland back to Alston, layup good.
Yeah, this is what we said in the break, John. If Grayson just starts getting loose and starts getting comfortable, coming down 3-on-2, 4-on-2, this is going to get into a really not so nice spot for Walton is about the best way I can put it.
Luke Flynn with the ball. Mentioned he had 33 points in the second round win over Peachtree Ridge, 5 of those from 3-point land. He had 25 in the first half, which again, that was how much Grayson had in the first half as well. But his team only managed 7. Highland with it. Highland's gonna try to get it to the corner, tip drill, and Walton gets the turnover. Paxton gets the turnover.
Nice job getting back and seeing the ball, getting a deflection and creating a turnover. I think actually at this point Walton needs to just go ahead and play a little quicker. This grinded out style is not gonna get it done for him.
They tried to feed Morris inside, tipped away from Harris. Highland with the layup. Another timeout, Walton.
John, I just got to stop you here for a second. I don't think people realize just how good Jakari Harris is. Like he retreats, sees backside, tips that ball away, takes 2 dribbles, doesn't throw the ball in the air, throws a 30-foot bounce pass to a guy in stride who just has to drop it off. Like this guy, I'm telling you, this guy is just an unbelievable basketball player at the nuances of basketball. What a future he has ahead of him to be just a junior and have all of this wherewithal about what happens on a basketball court and how to do it. Just a special kid.
And there's Harris again with the floater, starting off the scoring here in the third quarter. And Harris showing off his versatility, can also hit from outside. So 7 points in the ball game, 31-9, 5:58 remaining. Again, only one senior, as you mentioned, on this team, Chad Moody. Great core, still with another year. Highland, Alston, Harris, and Taylor a sophomore. So this is a...
Highland's a freshman, isn't he? C.J. Highland's a freshman. Is he? No, he's a junior. Okay.
Yeah, just reading off my... That's the information I was given.
No,
so.
I think you're right.
Walton with Burrows down by 22 points, 5:50 remaining. Stuck in the paint, has to get it outside to Paxton, and it's going to rim out. Ball hangs there. Here's Highland. He's got Moody deep, but Highland was going to take it himself and get fouled by Luke Flynn on the way up.
Really nice job by Moody getting behind the last defender and making him decide what he wanted to do. He stuck with Moody, didn't want to give up the dunk. Highland came right down the heart and grabbed a hold of his arm, and he'll take his free throws.
I think they called it on Paxton instead. That's his second. And Highland calmly hits the first one, gets 8 on the day.
You know, Grayson really needs to take this 13 and a half minutes left in the game and make sure they stay focused on the details of the game. Like the next one isn't going to be like this, whether it's McEachern or Wheeler, whoever they get, and they need to remain focused and finish this game as well as they started it.
Well, again, they were the only ranked team in their quadrant. So whoever comes out of that'll be the first ranked team that they will play in this championship. Flynn, fall away, got blocked.
They called for a foul.
Oh, they called a foul on that. Highland was already moving out to try and go for a layup. Let's take a look at this. I'm not sure on that last angle. Let me get a better one here. I really can't tell.
I think we might have missed this one, but I'm going to give that guy a pass since he's done about 25 million state championship games between football and basketball. Plus, he's a great friend of mine, so I'm going to leave him go on that one.
Now, Luke Flynn has his third point all from the line. They've done a great job in containing Luke Flynn. As he makes both of them. 4-4 from the line. Makes it 33-11 with 5:20 remaining. Alston off the heel. Tip drill. And that's a late foul, Harris. Harris was pushed as he went up, but I don't think it's going to be on that particular side. I think it looks like it's going against Grayson. It will be against Grayson. And it's Walton basketball, 5:13 remaining.
You can see Coach Pierce imploring his guys to continue to play defense. He knows what's coming next, and he does not want to let down. Now is not the time to lose your edge.
Foul on Moody. No good on the three-pointer. Highland with it. And through the hands of Chad Moody. They keep wanting to get that give and go, that fast break dunk. They want that tempo pressed down.
Yeah, I mean, again, great job by Moody to run ahead. That's a tough catch for him. With it contested, maybe should have made the play. I don't know if you want to make that pass up 22.
4:45 left in the third. Burrows from Morris. Now Burrows stuck on the baseline. He has to hand it off. And speaking of stepping on the baseline, turnover.
Yeah, that's a really tough catch when you come underneath that screen on the end line and you're a right-handed shooter. You got to get all the way around. It's just a tough spot. Now Moody goes out of the game, and Grayson goes smaller here where they can play a little faster.
That was Leo Etta, number 4. Who stepped out of bounds.
What number was he?
Number 4. Thank you for our cameraman to get the close-up so I can at least pick out the number. Come to the near side, and it's Corey Gatlin back in. He loses the ball, went to Wells. And they go straight to Flynn, but Harris all over him. Harris, excellent job. Wells can't hit, but he gets his own rebound, finds Flynn. Flynn dribbles in, tried to feed the outside man, tipped away by Alston. Now here's Highland in transition. Layup good.
Nice job adjusting his body in the air, making sure that he cut that defender off and get all the way to the rim.
Now Grayson will call timeout with 3:59 remaining. Now, he was stuck on Alston's hip, able to find Highland in stride. Highland with the easy basket, and CJ with 11 points. Grayson in control of this one, 35-11, as we are just over halfway done here in our third quarter.
Yeah, second half much of the same as the first. Again, Grayson just superior all around the court. Walton's tried about everything I think that they have in their bag. It's just a matter of playing it out here, and Grayson just wants to, like I said, just stay sharp all the way through the game. I can't emphasize how important that is in a game like this.
Well, Norcross girls just defeated Archer in their Elite 8 matchup, so a doubleheader of action at the House of Blue. Sure, we'll have Newton starting right in a few moments. Here, it's all Grayson as Burrows is able to get a shot up, but can't hit it. And they'll alternate. It will belong to Walton. They only have 11 points, only 3 field goals, one of them a three-pointer. Luke Flynn with 4 points leads the Raiders. Wells, he had one of those field goals, and that one was partially blocked. And again, throwing it away, trying to get that fast break started.
John, take a look at Coach Pierce across the way. Can you see him? He's sitting down behind this, like, that. This is what I'm telling you, is this is what he doesn't want to see. The unforced turnovers, the, trying to force things that aren't there.
Yeah, they're trying to get the degree of difficulty points from the Russian judge. Burrows with a fall away, and that won't go. Got the rebound. Now Flynn, and that's a travel for Burrows.
Just as you were saying earlier, Coach is just all up after that kid, just saying, shoot the ball, catch the ball, and shoot it. That's what we do.
3 minutes remaining. 24-point lead for the Rams. And Flynn's going to get called for a reach-in. I'm sorry, Wells will get called for a reach-in. It's JP's second.
That post entry right there. Harris has got to throw that directly in. No loft on that. Just right into his chest.
Into the corner for Mason. Thought Mason was going to pull the trigger. Harris will pull it and drain it.
That's easy. Too easy. Just finds an open spot, and you could tell that one was good coming out of his hand.
Well, Jakari with 10. 38-11. 2:37 remaining. Ita with it. He's guarded by Gatlin. Trying to get some room. There's no room there. Taking it is Watson, and he'll drop it in a 3-ball. And Nathan Watson on the scoreboard. 38-14. 2:15 left. Taylor with it. He'll find Gatlin. Gatlin's going to drive. Got it up, and he'll get fouled from behind by Burrows.
Nice job by Gatlin, seeing the quick closeout, got baseline. Get all the way to the rim once again. Don't try to do what you're not capable of. Don't change your shot there and avoid contact. Take the contact, take your free throws. That's a way to be efficient when you're a guy coming in the game off the bench. These are the things that you want to do, that you're going to need to do to help them win in this semifinal round that they're about to play in.
Off the heel for the first one. And Gatlin will have one more. Second one coming up. That one's good. Now that's Gatlin's first points. (39-14), 2 minutes remaining.
One of the things, John, that we really haven't had a chance to talk about is Grayson is so long around the perimeter that even while they're out there defending on the perimeter, they still have a big in the middle of the paint to clean things up. Just, that's not the norm in high school basketball.
Burrows, a little too strong. Good rebound from Moody. A little off to the left, too. And again, trying to feed that backside for Taylor. And at least Grayson won't have very far to go for that semifinal matchup, playing at the new Georgia State Convocation Center.
I'm sure you've been there a time or two.
Actually, I have not.
You have not? I'm surprised.
Nah, I haven't gotten down there yet. And they'll throw the ball away.
So that's probably about a half a dozen turnovers in this quarter on Grayson. And it's just, immediately Harris coming right back in the game. You turn the ball over, you're going to come and sit down. Maybe I won't go and say hi to Coach Pierce after the game if it keeps going like this. He's getting a little fired up over there.
Yeah, he is mad about the fundamental mistakes that are going on. That's Burrows with 1:22 to go. 39-14. Burrows trying to get free, but that defense is suffocating. He got it back, and it's no good. Gatlin can't, well, yes it will. Gatlin can't corral it as it goes out of bounds. He'll stay with the Raiders.
See what they run coming out here. A box, inside screen, back screen on the other side. Just comes back out to half court.
Yeah, that's the only thing they could do here. Here's Flynn. Only 4 points for Flynn, doing a great job corralling their main scoring threat. And Flynn has it back with 6 seconds left in the shot. So many times they put in Flynn's hand with the clock rolling down. That's good for Watson.
This is the kind of thing you were talking about at the beginning of the game. This is what they need to do from the beginning. Pass to, open look, and let it fly.
Nathan Watson with 6 points on 2 3-pointers, makes it 39-17. 10 points for the Raiders in this quarter. Walton has managed 14. Off on that 3 attempt. So the Raiders with another chance to get some more damage done. But they're forcing Burrows all the way back to half court. And yeah, those passing lanes, they are just a no-go on the crossers.
John, that was Jinkari Harris deflecting a pass, running away from the ball.
Yep.
And that's just a basketball skill that not everybody on the high school court has.
Take a look at that pass. And Harris tipped it, and then it went right to him, and he picked up the foul trying to clean up the loose ball. Morris. And they'll get a block underneath, and Morris. But that's should not be a shooting foul because Morris made an extra pass. I think it's going to go on Gatlin, his second.
Yeah, they called that on the ground. It looked like a charge to me, but that's a 39-17 call.
4 seconds remaining. Grayson with only 5 fouls the whole game. They had 3 this quarter. Burrows will have to hurry. He does, and it runs off. And that'll do it. So that does it for our third quarter of action. And it's more of the same, even though the Raiders did sort of find their offense a little bit. 14-10 in that frame. Nathan Watson with 2 3-pointers, but again, it's all Rams as we head into the final quarter here from Archer High School, 39-17. Nobody wants uninvited guests taking up residence in their homes, and we don't mean the in-laws, although they certainly resemble it. Brita Pest Management protects you from bugs and critters. Brita has been keeping Georgia homes bug and critter free for almost 50 years. You can see more at bredapest.com. That's Brita Pest Management, a proud supporter of Georgia high school athletics. John Morgo and Dr. Russell Triega here from Archer, forced to be Grayson's home away from home since their court was damaged before the postseason started. And I'm sure they'll be enjoying the trip to Georgia State on Saturday, playing either the winner of McEachern and Wheeler. I'll be down at Fort Valley State Friday and Saturday for the 3A and 4A semifinal actions. So that will be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that trip.
John, if Grayson didn't score in the second or third quarter, Walton would be up 3.
Yes. They just now were able to get those points back. A foul on Nathan Watson, his first. 14-0 after 1, 25-7 after 2. And now here we are, 39-17. Make that 42-17, Jakari Harris.
That's out at about 24 feet, stretching it out, just reminding everybody how far he can shoot the ball from comfortably.
Definitely a great all-around player, has all the tools, and that stretches the lead to 25. Pass to Wells goes askew. And once again, it'll be Grayson ball. Let's take a look at that three. Calmly collected it, moved a little to his left, and buried the three.
Yes.
Then another angle. Just shows how dead on it was. He was going to do it again. Now he'll drive and try to go underhanded, but it won't go. Morris with the rebound. Watson with a one hand. Watson now trying to go in. Can't get room. He's got Harris. Now he'll take a fall away from the sideline. Airballs it right to Morris. Morris falls down, and they'll get him for a travel. Yeah, I think the shot clock reset, but that was an air ball. It shouldn't have.
Yeah, Morris did a good job on the backside. He just lost his footing trying to come back to the middle. Good competitive play, but again, it just has to be so frustrating for Walton.
I mean, it is a success. I would consider it a successful postseason run. Here they are, the 4 seed, and they are in the Elite 8, the only 4 seed left for 7A.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
the only unranked team in the Elite 8.
Playing in March, it's just the worst possible matchup for them, size-wise, and the things Grayson does. It's just got to be frustrating in that sense that they just can't seem to get any traction.
Another turnover for Harrison Morris. And Coach Abney jawbones the referee. Now he's going to walk up with him. Talk some more, tell some more stuff.
Yeah, he's really letting him have it.
And his team down by 25, 6:22 to go. Alston from the wing, and it's a little too strong, but it goes right to Highland. And Highland will dribble it back out to waste more time.
Grayson loves this 1-4 set across the foul line. They do so many good things out of it with that little high-low.
Nice. That's a great move for Taylor. In one motion, got it in one hand, put it to his shooting hand off the glass. He's got 10 points. It's his first basket in the second half. Makes it 44-17 with 5:45 remaining. The only thing, though, you go from the Elite 8 to the Final 4, you only have about 2 days of practice.
Yeah, that's really a difficult thing. So Grayson will probably come back in tomorrow and have maybe a little longer practice, but probably not a ton of running in that. But they know both of their opponents pretty well, so it's going to be a lot on the assistant coaches tonight to have them prepared for practice tomorrow. And then they'll have another walkthrough on game day, which will, they'll feel comfortable. It's the same for both sides.
Yes.
So
another foul on Watson, his second for Walton. That's a 5. Is it a possession? No, it is a possession. It is a 5-second call.
Yeah, another one of those unforced turnovers. It doesn't matter right now, but in the semifinal, that happens in the middle of the fourth quarter of a 3-point game. That's a big turnover.
Exactly. That's why Coach Pierce was sardonically clapping as the referee ruled on that possession change.
John, I don't know what sardonic means. You're going to have to tell me.
Sarcastically.
Okay, and I'm an English teacher. I didn't know what sardonic. I'm going to use that in class tomorrow.
Okay. 5 minutes left. It's a 27-point deficit for Walton. 3 ball, no for Watson, but he gets his own rebound. He's going to try to drive, double team, swings it around to the open man, Flynn, and that's an air ball. And Flynn has yet to hit a field goal. All 4 points coming from the line.
Yeah, it looks like he just caught that one in the back of his hand and was just trying to get rid of it. It's been that kind of night for him, unfortunately for him.
Highland with it, tipped. Alston gets it off the screen. Trying to do a little pick and roll action, but instead they'll go back to Taylor. Now Highland with it. Highland will get fouled as he did a crosser to Harris. Foul on Morris. That should be his second. It is. Now Highland inbound. They got it in quickly this time. And all the tension's been sucked out of this gym. We're just going to Playing to the edge here, and that's a turnover.
These got to be harder games for you to call. Like, it's just the
Oh,
atmosphere is gone, the intensity's gone.
I can't see one uniform.
Well, that's been the whole game.
Yeah, that's been the whole game. But eventually you figure things out as it looks like Coach Pierce is going to empty his bench. There's Morris, and Morris will get fouled by Moody. That's 2 on Moody. And one thing, he's been able to do this without a good offensive game from Chad Moody. He has yet to score. They haven't needed him. Harris and Taylor and Highland have taken up the slack.
Yeah, I mean, overall, Grayson has really not shot the ball that well. They really haven't played that well offensively. I would, if you ask Coach Pierce what he thought, I would think he would tell you we have not played that well tonight. And when he says not that well, it's more along the lines of it's the simple things that we know we have to do to get the ultimate, that state championship, just weren't there consistently throughout the night. Now, they defended very well, but outside of that, I would think he'll have their attention tomorrow at practice.
Ball will bounce around and drop from Morris, who hits both of his foul shots. And Coach Pierce will call a timeout. Shorty with 4:03 to go. And this will be excellent experience for the second team in this situation, defending a 25-point lead with 4 minutes to go, 44-19. Winner of this one plays the winner of Wheeler and Wheeler and McEachern at the top end. That'll be Saturday. Again, the other side of the bracket, Carrollton against Cherokee, against the winner of Newton and Norcross. So just the way the brackets kind of set themselves up, that you get 1 and 2. Wheeler and McEachern on the same quadrant. Wheeler, the 1 team from Region 3, and Wheeler, the 1 team from Region 5, McEachern, the 1 team from Region 3. Just the way it set itself up.
Yeah, and this sub is more about, I don't want anybody to get hurt than anything. This is a little early to clear the bench, but this is really more about that than anything else.
Gatlin is in, and Walton immediately with a full court press, and they get a turnover. So Walton gets the turnover, but again, they still got a long way to go, 25 points. 44-19. That's Mason, and that's a 5-second violation on Wells and the Raiders. So we'll go back to Grayson. Mason with a crosser to Nate DeMasi. They immediately double team him. Gatlin will weave his way out of the press and cross the half-court stripe. Now they can set into the offense. This is Caden Allen. He saw some time a little earlier. Mason will launch one, and it's going to jump off the rim. And it'll go back to Walton. You got 33, Nasir Smith. Late addition to the team, kind of a mid-season addition. Played on the football team.
I was just going to say, it looks like he's had some football equipment on.
Yep, so he played football, waited until Grayson's deep run was over, and then switched to basketball. Nobody was beating Mill Creek in football, that was for sure.
No.
Flynn will drive. They converge. He goes to his right hand and gets his first field goal of the night. 6 points for Luke Flynn, and they get a turnover. 44-21 with 3:13 to go.
Again, we keep saying it over and over again. Not crisp, not sharp. I'm pretty sure, John, if you told Walton with 3 minutes to go in the game, Grayson would have 44 points, they would be good with that. They would say, hey, we're in the game, we got a chance.
But they're not. Well, as we were here in the late stages. And Grayson put 99 on Marietta, 76 on Valdosta. As they go around, Flynn mid-range, good. I'm sorry, that was Wells. Wells with 5, and it's 44-23, 2:47 to go. And a little bit early for the automatic fouling portion of today's broadcast. You see J.P. Wells comes in for that. Well, that's going to be the third foul on Watson. We'll cross over to Demissy. And they'll break containment. 44-23, 2:35 remaining. Gatlin to Smith, and he gets in the scoreboard. He gets in the scorebook with a layup from the left side, 46-23. Now the lead is just mainly doubled. Stepping back is Luke Flynn, no. Give it back to Grayson. And you can see the Raiders in cursive on the front of their jersey and that emblem of the Walton on the back. Can't see it there. And it looks like Flynn's day is over. They pull him. Good job getting containment out of the way. Into the corner for Mason. And that hit the top of the backboard.
Yeah, bounced off the, maybe off the shot clock almost.
Yep. Now looking over this Walton team as it gets ready for next year. Watson is a senior, so they'll still have Flynn, they'll still have Wells for their senior years. There's a good core. Again, they went 19, as you see on the scoreboard, 19 and 11.
Yeah, well, you win 19 games in the state of Georgia in 7A. You know, that's a pretty good season. That's, you know, there's several teams that sit at that 14, 15 win mark that would love to be at 19.
That's Burrows with the layup. He's got 4, 46-25, 90 seconds remaining. Again, Grayson will take on the winner of that Wheeler-McEachern matchup Saturday at the Georgia State Convocation Center. There's a 3, and no good for Caden Allen. And it looked like Gatlin kept tipping, but Burrows with another jumper, 46-27. We're under a minute to go. Another foul, and that foul will be on Allen, I believe. No, it's going to be on Harry Tier. Okay, Norcross 15, Newton 10. And they're just underway at the House of Blue. So Harry Tier picks up a personal foul. Only 6 fouls on Grayson the whole ball game. If I'm Coach Pierce, maybe some of the efforts, maybe some of the fundamentals, but that stat I'm proud of.
Yeah, and then when you get into a big game, free throws often can be the difference. So 16 fouls in a game is some really good, and they played man-to-man defense the whole game. There was not one possession of anything different.
3 ball won't go. And another reach-in foul. That's going to be against Zach Plange, number 25. 16 foul against Walton, so now Grayson in the front end of 1-1 with 23.3 seconds to go. And Gatlin will have that 1-1 as Coach Abney empties his bench.
That's really...
You can tell who the senior is.
Yeah.
Nathan Watson in his last game in a Walton uniform.
Yeah, and really good on Coach Abney to get everybody in the game. These kids come to practice every day. They work. They were part of these 19 wins just like anybody else. So I know those kids and those families appreciate that.
Well, Gatlin can't hit the front end as Walton will try to get the string. Burrows with a lay-in. Burrows has 8. And it's 46-29, and Grayson is going to dribble us out. Well, they only scored 7 points in the fourth quarter, but Walton with 12, but it's still going to be the Grayson Rams advancing to the Final Four, taking on the winner of Wheeler and McEachern. That'll wrap us up. I'm John Mortal for Dr. Russell Triega, for our producer, Lisa Burnett, and Marcus Burnett here at the SUV. Thank you so much for joining us. It's Grayson advancing with a 46-29 defensive stalwart game over the Walton Raiders. Thank you so much. This has been a presentation of the SUV TV powered by Breda Pest Management. Have a good night, everybody.